Hello, world weary Cy.
Ian.
Dave.
I'm just going to tell you right now, like, where do I swipe my credit card on this computer to just do like a therapy co-pay right up front? Huh?
I'm Ian, Dave's therapist. That's Dave. This is Apex Adjacent, your favorite car therapy session.
Yeah, and on top of that, I had an actual for real therapy session this morning. So
just doubling up.
Yeah, I'm booking
doing 2 a days. You gotta hydrate for your 2 a days.
That's my mental state right now. Is therapy 2 a days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One with a credentialed therapist, the other drinking whiskey while they talk to me.
Does your therapist not do that?
At 7 a.m. Usually not.
Oh, okay. Depends how much fire you're bringing that week, huh?
Right.
I mean, that's what you don't want, right?
Uh-huh.
Like you hear like they like open a whiskey bottle and it's Jesus just pouring.
I mean, I hear a lot of stuff, but whew. Right? Yeah. So Ian, we had Thanksgiving. We gorged ourselves on turkeys, right? Mm-hmm. And then the weekend after Thanksgiving, that Saturday, I was going to do some car work. I was going to do a little bit of work on the Abarth. I was going to put my winter wheels on Luther. I was just going to do like a Saturday morning car day stuff, right? And I had some other stuff to do around the house, like just a general working day, right? It didn't go so well. And I'm here to tell folks and to tell myself that sometimes you just have to know when to take the L, man.
Yeah.
I was here. Let me share my screen here. I was trying to. So on my Fiat, the turbo and the exhaust manifold are obviously bolted together, right? Let me share my screen here. And I needed to get a strip stud out of the turbo that holds the nut onto the exhaust manifold, right? Let's see here. Fiat 500 turbo.
Google stripped stud with a nut. See what comes up. I bet you it's advice on your exact problem.
You know what?
That comes up.
I bet you're right. You're right, buddy.
Siri, stripped stud with a nut.
With nuts. Right? So here we go. Here's what we're talking about. So this is the same turbocharger as mine, right? Mm-hmm. So you see here where the turbocharger, the exhaust housing, bolts onto that exhaust manifold right there.
Yeah.
Right? So there's those studs there coming out of the turbo there, and when so those aren't bolts, those are like studs that are in the turbo housing. Yes, and you'll notice that there are no heads on the other side. Right. Okay. And so I was trying to extract that stud because I needed to put a new one on because the threads were completely stripped, right? Mm-hmm. And I had to disassemble it for what reason I cannot remember at this point, but I needed to disassemble it. Oh, I disassembled it to make sure like tons of metal didn't fall out. That's what I was doing. Right. Okay. But unfortunately, one of those studs stripped because of course, like 1 out of 4, right? Something's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to extract the stud. I got a stud extractor, which kind of looks like a drill bit chuck. Yeah. Right? You clamp on. And so I was doing that and I was making a little bit of progress. And then the stud snapped off inside the turbo housing there. And so I drilled it out and I didn't...
Retapped it.
That was my idea. I drilled it part way. And so I had like basically this little donut left of a stud. Yeah. Right? Like a piece of stud with a hole drilled through it. Right. And I was like, well, I'll just like easy out this like metal donut and maybe I won't have to retap the threads for the stud. Right. And then here's what happened.
Oh no.
here's what happened. I have a bad history with these easy outs, man. The easy out broke off inside my little metal donut there.
Oh my God.
And
is this how it's sitting now?
Well, I chipped off part of the broken easy out. Okay. And so this is like, so I was like, okay, well, the Fiat, it's not the Fiat's day today. I'm going to put this over there for a little bit. Let me do Luther's wheels. Let me do the wheels for Luther. First, so Luther has OEM wheel locks, right?
Right.
And I have the key for it and everything. But as you can imagine, with a 13-year-old car, I went to do the first wheel lock and it just would not come out, right? Like it kept slipping. So I think the wheel locks are just finally done for. I've never used an impact on them or anything like that, but so this is so it was like, well, now I can't get a wheel off, right? So I'm like, right, 2 for 2, 0 for 2, right? Right.
That's so is it the wheel locking socket that's like rounded off, or is it the actual
lock holding the wheel onto the car? Right.
Sweet.
So what I have to do now is I have to pretend I'm stealing my own wheels.
Yeah. Take a thing and just fucking hammer it on there. Take a socket and hammer it on there.
Yep.
Just go get the cheapest next size down socket you can find that you're going to throw out. Get like 3 of them.
Yep. I got the ones that bite in. Nice. Yeah, those removers. So I got a set of those, and I'll do that. But the weather's so nice, thankfully. Not really thankfully, because our planet's just a fucking nightmare. But it's it's December 1st and it was like 74 today, so it's not like my winter wheels need to go on anytime soon. Right.
Are you then ordering new locking nuts, or are you just going to get non-locking?
Just non-locking lug nuts. Yeah, I got a pack of a brand new 20 lug nuts upstairs. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Same lug nuts that the big boy Toyota and Lexus SUVs use. They're such a weird design. 460 lug nut. It's this weird, here, look, this is one of my lug nuts. Like this with it's got the conical, but then it has this big, floating hat.
Weird.
Yeah. But that's what it is for the big, because it's the same wheel hubs as an LX 570 SUV or whatever, right? Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's...
Well, I'm sorry.
It was a rough day for car stuff, man. I was talking to Kelly and it was she was like, it's the weekend, just chill out. I did some other stuff around the house, and then I was like, well, I'm just going to play Portal 2. And so I played Portal 2 a whole bunch, Yeah.
Just transport yourself away from the Fiat.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes.
You transport yourself. You went through a portal to a dimension where the Fiat works.
Yes. Yes. So Monday morning, I packed up the turbocharger and I was dreading a little bit of the Fiat repair because I had to put the original cylinder head back together, right? And it's got carbon buildup and, it's a used cylinder head. And I was going to have to clean it and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it to a machine shop. I'm going to instead of triggering my carpal tunnel like crazy, hand lapping the valves, I'm just going to have them do a valve job on it. They're going to be able to tell me if any of the valves I give them are bent, then I'll know exactly how many to buy. They'll hot tank it. They'll walnut blast it. They'll do all that. It'll be fine. And so I took it to Ridge Reamer, who I've taken some Saab cylinder heads to before. And they didn't balk at that. What they did balk at was I asked them if there was any way. I showed them the turbocharger, if there was any way they could bore that out. And he was the guy that runs the place. His name is Pete. He's very crusty, but he's been there forever. And he was like, yeah, we don't do that kind of stuff anymore. I could spend a couple hours on it, charge you a couple $100, and neither of us would be happy with it at the end.
Well, good on him for
Yeah.
So what's the plan? Are you just gonna drill it out and tap it, or
I can't get a bit to grab it. I can't get a bit to seat. So I ordered a whole new eBay turbo. I mean, a used turbo.
You know what I would do is just do the three studs and then some vice grips on the other corner. Call it good.
Right, like a few zip ties.
like a really cranked down set of vice grip with some zip ties around it, maybe.
Yeah,
just like, really. Yeah,
like a big C clamp that like I have to cut a hole in the hood for the C clamp to come out.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Done.
Yep. So I got an eBay turbo. It's, it's the same. Like it was only $200. Like it was like marked down from 400 something. And so, like it looks like what you see here in front of you. It's going to get here sometime next week, I think. Already attached to the exhaust manifold and all that stuff. So
could you, sorry, I'm still, let's do it. Bad ideas.
This is what we're here for, right? This is Apex Adjacent. Let's do it.
Here's my other really bad idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Why not? Could you just drill through from the backside?
No.
And then just convert it to a bolt?
No, because the backside has the tip of the easy out like coming through the metal donut. So there's no place you can like get a bit to actually sit. Googling like the real way to get this out is to do one of two things. You put it on a press, you clamp it onto a platform on a press, and you use like an actual like machining boring bit, and you gently tap, and bore a hole through it, right?
Yeah.
But it's, hardened steel, apparently, whatever, because it's an easy out. So that's going to go through a few bits or whatever. Okay. That's one option. The other option is if there's enough teeth on here, let me go back to the picture. If you can get enough of the threads here, right? You get a hex bolt that will thread into it, and you drill through the hex bolt. Okay. Like in a vise or something. And that's your guide for the drill bit that will hold it in place as you gently tap and remove metal.
Oh my God.
Or you could just, weld a pair of vice grips onto it like you suggested. Yeah. Yeah. So it's insane that like an entire turbo, the entire turbo isn't ruined. I could remove that like exhaust, like that hot side housing and put a new hot side housing on, which if there's like shaft play in the turbo, you should Google shaft play too.
Yeah. So let's Google
strip stud
shaft play nuts.
There you go. I think that's the title of the episode. Yeah.
Siri.
We're going to get a lot of hits, just like that episode we had where we mentioned feet in the title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that's kind of the path to righteousness for something like that. Mm. But I tell you what,
extremely frustrating. I'm sorry.
No, it is. But I tell you, there was like with handing the cylinder head over to the machine shop, it was a sigh of relief to me. Right.
Oh yeah.
And to just like add to cart that turbo on eBay. Okay. Right. Like it's not going to be perfect. It's a used turbo. Hey, maybe I'll want to do a whole turbo upgrade later. Right. But it'll be fine. Right. Like I still have to get this thing on the ground and actually moving. Like I got to put it back together. And so like I'm starting to feel like a little bit of momentum.
Yeah. Making yourself feel better with spending money on things. I mean, that's the American way.
Retail therapy, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the therapy is the copay. I did have one kind of fun win with the Fiat. Okay. Oh. So I picked up an extra set of wheels from Jesse when I bought the Fiat. And my kind of mindset was like summer winter setup, right? Because there's winters on it now. They're just 16-inch. They're adorable. Like those little black, how do you say it? Inky?
Enki?
Inky.
I would say Enki.
Yeah. Yeah. those, and they look great, right? They, like the Blizzaks look nice and chunky and stuff on there. But I got this other really nice set of Fiat 124 wheels, right? So these are 124 Spider wheels. These are called the Lusos, right? So I think I told you this. I go to test fit one on the back a little while ago, and the car rejected it like a bad transplanted kidney.
I would be surprised if it fit.
Well, so 4-bolt, Fiat, right?
But Mazda.
Right. So the hub diameter on the Fiat is 58 millimeters.
Yeah.
The hub on these wheels is 53 millimeters.
Oh, yeah.
And these wheels are 4x100.
Yeah.
My Fiat is 4x98.
Yeah.
So like when Jesse put the Inkies on, right? Like, and like, you have to fit you can fit 4x100s on a 4x98 with because it's only 1 millimeter a difference each side, right? Mm-hmm. With something called wobble bolts. Have you heard of such a bolt?
I do not know of wobble bolts.
Okay, so like Tire Rack sells these, like they like, so it's not like just like some like guy in an alley like kind of fix, right? And I don't know if I would track a car with wobble bolts, but here is one. I show and tell tonight, buddy.
Wow.
So it like, it looks like your standard lug nut, right?
Yeah.
But the conical seat here, you can see has some movement to it. Right?
Oh yeah, that's super sketchy.
It's actually not, right? So when this, like, think about like where the direction of torque is, like, or not torque, but like where the forces are, right? Like you're still applying all of the forces from this, like the threads doing the clamping onto the conical seat.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like a little bit moved.
Huh.
Right? And so like, I mean, this is like a lot of people run these, like people even autocross with them. Like it's not like they're not going to go flying off of your car. Right.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, like maybe like I know I can do 4x100s. But it's just this hub, right? Mm-hmm. The hub on the car is too big, right? Because if it was the other way around, you could just put on a centering ring.
Yeah.
Right. So, of course, for Dave, it's the opposite problem.
Right.
So you'll be happy to know, Ian, I have 3/4 inch spacers on the car now. And so we're going to be pushing those wheels out just a tiny bit. And I'm going to plasti dip these a glossy black. And, so they are going, this will be my summer setup for the car. Yeah.
Have you test fit that yet?
I have. And it is one of the options that works from the factory. Like they're in great shape. There's only 2 that have like a tiny bit of curb rash.
Nice.
But yeah, here's a picture of the garage tonight when I was messing with it. So there's the Inkies in the back.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's the 17s up front. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm interested to see if they like rub or fit. I mean, because it's probably a different offset too, right?
No, it's very similar. So like it clears the rotor perfecly. Nice. And this wheel size is one of the options. Okay. Yeah. You could get, I have it in my notes here. I have like a Abarth notes. You could get 205 4017s or 215 4017s with this car. Yeah.
Okay. What are these, the 215s?
These are the 205s.
Oh, they're so tiny.
Yeah, they are tiny, right? But they're 17s, and so yeah.
That's great.
And these are Potenza S001s.
Okay.
Yeah, which are not bad.
Yeah, I don't really know much about the Potenza line, so I'm not sure where those fall.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But I with the spacers and all that stuff, I don't need wobble bolts anymore. So like I'll have proper bolts on there now.
Nice.
But I know, like, some tracks don't let cars run that have spacers or anything. We'll see, like, if I ever choose to autocross it, like what happens there. But yeah. So
that's cool.
So at least I had like, I could fix like at least like make something, because I was like, I listed the wheels on Craigslist for a few days, and the only thing I had was other Fiat 500 people like pinging me being like, so you're telling me these won't fit my car? Yes, yeah. So
correct.
So
yeah.
I decided to keep them and
Nice.
do the spacer thing. Yeah. So
Cool. Those will look good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I figured they'd look good in black. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Or do something like, or you could go like just outrageous with them.
Yeah, you know what? I could. We could go like a
pink.
Yeah, the pink. Like we could do red. We could do all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah. Something bright.
Right.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. So there we go. Yeah. So I'm getting the motivation to get the car back together. So I'm anxious to get stuff back from the machine shop and to start making good headway getting it back together.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
What kind of
good garage update?
Thanks, man. God, I'm sorry I've been talking so much. Yeah.
No, it's good.
Yeah. What's going on with your garage?
My garage, I really don't have much.
Yeah.
Took the All-Track in for dealer service yet again. Went fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have much to report. I drove my car for the first time, the R32 for the first time in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To go pick up a Christmas present for my wife.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I don't really have much to report. We've been traveling. So
yeah,
hasn't been much personal car use.
Yeah, driving rentals and stuff, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Right on.
So, I do have one weird rental car thing.
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
So we had, when we were in California for the race, when we were going to take my wife and kids came out, and so we ended up with 2 rental cars, which was ridiculous.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that way they could be unencumbered by me going back and forth to track and whatever. And I needed to be able to obviously go to the auto parts store and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I had, a Charger with a V8, which was pretty sweet. And they had a Cherokee.
Oh, okay.
A Jeep Cherokee, not a Grand Cherokee, a Cherokee.
Okay.
And it was, fine.
Right.
Fine.
Serviceable, right?
Serviceable, very rental spec.
Okay.
Had a weird rental car smell.
Oh.
And some other weird quirks and stuff. But what I want to talk about is that there was a noise that I could not figure out. And I was in this car for several days.
Okay.
Could not figure it out. I think there was something trapped in the rain gutter in the thing, because you would brake and you would hear.
Oh, like a rain stick.
So, yes. Like something was rolling. It sounded like a pebble or like a ball bearing rolling, and it would follow the weight transfer of the car.
Okay.
And you could hear like the Doppler effect of it moving past your head, and it was like right here.
Okay.
And when we flew into San Francisco and had to drive, 2 hours down to Monterey, and it was like, at first I thought there was something wrong with the speaker in the door.
Right.
Because, you're barely hearing it over like highway noise and
sure
children screaming and whatever else was going on in the car. And then at some point we were on like a twisty or like mountain road, and I realized like, it's every time I brake, I can hear it come towards me and go past me. And then every time I accelerate, it goes the other direction.
And it was only on like your left side. It never transferred over.
Yeah. It was like somebody stuck a ball bearing in the rain gutter. It was maddening. Maddening. It was the craziest, like weirdest rental car quirk I've ever experienced.
It's like water torture, like in rental car form.
Yeah.
Right.
I could not find it. I looked around, couldn't find it.
But I just imagine you shaking things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it did have the roof bar, so maybe it was something in the like a piece of a screw or something in a roof bar. I don't know.
Right.
But it was very annoying.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Like, every time you transferred weight from forward to back, it would roll around and like right in your ear.
Like, I wonder if there's like a big wiring chase that like runs up through that top, like, you know, A-pillar to roof, right? And like for all the stuff that goes back, right? Like some wiring that goes up through the A-pillar, right? Because the sunroof drain tubes go down through the A-pillar if it has a sunroof, right?
It did not have a sunroof, but I mean, those channels are still there. Right. I would think in every car.
Right. But if it had any vertical travel, it wouldn't like come back. It wouldn't return. It'd be something that fell down once and stayed down. Right. So like, yeah, like the fact that it like had like free reign horizontally.
Yeah.
Is so weird.
Well, and it's just like, who created this problem? Like, what happened that somebody created this problem and then either didn't notice or was like, I'm not going to say anything about this.
That's like the simplest solution is probably the correct one, right?
Yeah. But what I really hope is that somebody's kid just like shoved a marble someplace, you know, like that's kind of what it seems like happened. I don't know.
I've heard about like this has never happened to me, but like a prank that like cyclists can play on each other is you put like a tiny rock inside the frame of someone else's bike. Right. You know, like, and it just drives them mad. Right.
Yeah.
You know,
and can confirm that would be terrible.
Right. Or you hang something like a washer from inside the seat tube or something, you know?
Right.
Yeah. There's a special place in hell for somebody that does those kinds of pranks, right? But yeah, like here's the way I want you to fix it. Okay. I don't know what it is or what to do, but to me, like what it's saying is that you like it moves and it stops when you brake. It moves and it stops when you accelerate, right?
Yeah.
I want you to brake so hard that it like whatever it's flying at, it flies to the point where like it lodges itself in one end or the other. Right. So like it's like just kind of like a trust fall almost for like how hard you can brake. Cause like at some point you're going to brake hard enough that it'll fly in like either like fly through the windshield of the car or like hit you in the back of the head and knock you out or something. Right. Or it'll like get stuck and like that's where it lives now.
Yeah. No, I love that. Yeah. I mean, my solution was the classic one of just turn up the radio.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Right.
But yeah. Wow. Very frustrating.
That's crazy. Oh yeah. That would be maddening. Yeah. Especially on twisty roads, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Weird.
So strange.
Huh. Okay.
So yeah, if anyone else has ever had that, I would love to hear about it because I've never heard that before.
That'd be really funny if like there was a string of Jeep owners that like maybe there was like one thing that came loose, right? Like either in that like that roof bar or somewhere in like that wiring chase or something.
Yeah. Something
crazy.
Weird.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
I did have one other picture that we didn't. It was also from my California trip, and I think it'll move us in the direction of our next topic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, what's up?
I put it in the current show folder.
Okay.
There was in the parking lot of the Champ Car race, you know, there's always like very expensive RVs.
Right.
And then like you'll see like there was like a Lotus Evora that was really cool. And there's always like some high dollar cars there.
Yeah.
But one car really caught my eye because it was really cool. And it was really well, like tastefully modified and really, really cool looking.
Okay.
But then also just my initial reaction to it struck me. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Because I think 5 years ago, if I had seen this car in a parking lot anywhere, I would have been like, oh, cool. That would have been the beginning and end of my reaction.
Okay. Yeah.
But now I see it and I go, oh, high roller.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. High roller.
Oh,
And then I go like, well, that's a weird reaction to have. And then I start thinking about its current place in the car enthusiast world. And so it's like a different reaction now than I would have had 5 years ago.
Okay.
Anyway, it is labeled Type R.
I was going to ask if it starts with the letter T.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There it is.
Oh, an Acura Integra Type R.
An Integra Type R with a black plate. It's got a little half cage in it. It has cool like Recaro seats. Yeah. And it was just, you could tell like, I looked at a little bit. That was the only picture I took, but I looked more. It has a removable steering wheel, as you can see. I mean, it was just really tastefully modified for track use.
Yeah.
And it made me wonder, like, one, like, when did they buy this?
That's the exact right thing. Yeah. Go on. Elaborate.
When did they buy this? When did they modify it?
Right.
And now are they looking at it like, oh God, like
I should have kept it stock.
Maybe I should go back to stock, you know?
And for anyone who doesn't know, explain why, Ian. Give the breakdown of a timeline of this.
Integra Type Rs are crazy expensive now.
Right.
And they're only getting, I think they're only probably going to get more expensive now that the Integra is coming back.
Right.
Especially since it's, you know, kind of controversial. But yeah, the Bring a Trailer results are bonkers.
One sold for over $80,000.
Yes. Yeah. But I mean, they're 40, 50 grand now.
Yeah.
For a good one.
Right.
You know, that's crazy. I mean, reserve not met. There's a reserve not met at like $45,000.
Here's one for $42,000 that sold just a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, is this a $42,000 driving experience?
I would say not.
Right. I mean, not like it's not good.
I've never driven a Type R.
I never have either. Yeah.
I've driven Integras before, and they're great.
Yeah. Right.
I have never driven a Type R, so I should, you know, maybe it is amazing, but I kind of doubt it.
Right. Yeah.
I kind of doubt that it's that it's $40,000 or $50,000 good.
Right. Right. And so depending on when this person bought the one that you saw, right, this nice, tasteful black one, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say they bought it, you know, like you said, 10 years ago.
Right.
Right. Modded it because it's like a cheap tuner car. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, they've always been more expensive than the regular Integras or GSR or whatever. But, you know, now you see that and it's a modified one. And you're like, whoa.
Right. And
either this person's an OG or a baller.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting because like we talk about like how context matters, like with cars, and like purchase time is like another kind of like thing, like when this car was acquired.
Yes.
Like, you know, like that kind of stuff is kind of, that's part of the ownership experience as well. Right.
Yeah. But if anyone knows whose car this is, just let them know that I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the only car other than the car that I was driving at the race, it is the only car I took a picture of all weekend. There you go.
Yeah. Right. And there's usually cool shit in a racetrack parking lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And there was definitely cool stuff, but this was the only thing that I was like, I have to get a picture of this.
Yeah. I love the shadow of your hand down in the corner. That makes me so
you didn't see the shadow of the hot dog I was holding at the same time. This is on the way back from buying hot dogs.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I would have rather you have the shadow of your hot dog in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shadow of a hot dog, stripped studs.
Right. Yep. Right. Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
So we do have some things to talk about.
Yes.
With the Integra. Do you want to launch us into this? Because honestly, there was a lot of text in the talkabouts and I didn't read it.
That's to be expected. So let's just fire up a Google for new Integra. Let's just take a look at it real quick. So obviously, new Integra, blah, blah, blah. So we said on the show when we talked about the new Integra, or we talked about the things that were being talked about the new Integra, right?
Yeah.
That it'd be interesting to hear from our buddy Mark, because I know he owned one. Well, it turns out, as Mark said, thank you, Mark, for sending us an email. He said he's had almost 3 Integras.
I love almost 3. That's
right.
A hilarious thing to say about a car.
Yeah. So let me give Mark's history and then like what he thinks about the new Integra. So Mark said that he had considered a 5-door Gen 1, but it was an automatic, so he didn't buy it. He ended up with a white 1990 Integra LS, which was the first year for the Generation 2. Nice. Power mirrors, power sunroof, but manual crank windows, which is a really fun combo, right? Mm-hmm. 2-door hatchback. Eventually it had 180,000 miles. And he was planning on taking it a road trip, so he sold it to a friend who named it Zippy, right? His girlfriend at the time had a Gen 3 Integra, but it didn't have the headroom he needed, so he bought an Aztec green 2-door hatch 1993 Integra GSR. That's a cool Integra.
Yeah, definitely.
Mark says it's the last year for the Gen 2. Integra GSR. And he said that people would steal the GSR badges off of his car. And this is the exact color that Mark's was.
Super
right here,
cool.
Right? In that cool green, right? Mm-hmm. It had a VTEC engine, but it didn't engage until 4,500 RPM, so it didn't get much use around town. And Mark says that Wikipedia says only 850 GSRs were sold in 1993. Which is crazy to think, like a car that fun only sold such tiny numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, so when Mark let that one go, he donated it. It had 160,000 miles on it, and he considered an RSX as a replacement, but ended up looking for something newer, and that's when he ended up in a CRZ, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So like the Honda hatchiness like runs deep with Mark, right?
Interesting.
He said that overall they were incredibly reliable, easy to work on, and really fun. Like that's Acura Integra like distilled right there, right?
Yep.
So his take on the new one is that he likes that there's a manual version. All of his Integras that he owned were manuals. The 5-door design, as we know, was available in Gen 1, but not later. He thinks the new one looks long, which I think it does.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got to go back, Dave, back. And let's see here. He's glad it follows the name history and it isn't something completely different like a Mustang Mach-E or an Eclipse Cross, right? Mm-hmm. And I like how he describes the styling. A little bit better than fine.
I agree with that. I think that's a good take. Yeah.
Right?
I think we kind of more talked about, like you said, like the reaction and the reaction to the reaction than the actual thing. I'm really anxious to see one in person because I feel like in the photos, I think it just looks like a big mass, especially in the back. Like it just looks like a big flat 2-dimensional mass of metal.
Right.
And I feel like there's probably some like creases and stuff that show up in person that aren't showing up in some of these photos.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right.
Look a little better.
And like Acuras have had quite a track history of looking better in person than they have in photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Mark said, and I didn't think about this. He's glad it doesn't have a bunch of fake vents. It doesn't look over the top like a Civic. He's not a fan of the huge Integra sticker on the side, but without the sticker, it blended with similar models. And he says it looks like a safe design that should sell adequately well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I think it'll look good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit better than fine. Yeah, thank you, Mark, for sending that in. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he's got some Integra history, you know?
Nice.
Yeah, they have been integral to his car ownership experience.
Oh, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave.
It's past my bedtime. This is when the bad jokes come out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I would like to submit into evidence something.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
So we have talked a lot on the show about, obviously, license plates. I have found there's a new variant.
A new license plate variant? Okay.
There's a new variant of particularly dangerous and egregious license plate havers.
Oh, okay.
We already knew, we were already familiar with the epidemic that was Tesla owners and their license plates.
Right.
They're insufferable. They're obnoxious. Ugh, we get it. Right.
I think of like the South Park Prius episode where they're smelling their own farts, right?
Yeah. Now there's the new strain though. They've mutated now, and they've developed a new attribute, which is tweeness, and it's way worse.
Okay.
So it's insufferable and twee at the same time. It's not good. It's not good. Good. Put it up on the thing.
There you go. It's a red Tesla Model Y with a vanity plate that says
Ampy. Just a little ampy.
Ampy. I'm feeling ampy.
It also doesn't even make sense. Doesn't make sense. It's just like a vaguely electronics related sort of cutie thing. No, thank you.
Right.
This is where we need you. We need the license plate SWAT team to drop from the ceiling and knock the form out of their hands.
No, this, I'm sorry that this has crossed the Zoe Deschanel threshold, if you will. Right. Yeah.
Just the worst.
Speaking of slapping the form out of people's hands, Johnny sent us a list of Wisconsin plates that are not allowed.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna pull this up. I want to see if like you can let me see if I can just kind of maybe give you a couple hints. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think I'm just going to show you. We're just going to talk about the plates you can't get in Wisconsin. Here you go. Here's the plates you can't get. Police, Polise. Okay, which yesterday I saw an Audi SQ5, okay, with a license plate that had a cover, and I couldn't get a picture of it because it was being a dick in traffic, and the license plate said covert. Like, how covert are you when your license plate says covert?
It's like the classic Top Gear thing where they had road signs and it was like secret military base this way. Yes, was one of the signs. Exactly.
Yeah. Motorboat. You can't get motorboat on your license plate in Wisconsin.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Or boss BIH.
So these are ones that people tried and they were rejected.
Yes. Yeah. 420 boy. BOI. Yeah. I like WTF 2020. Right. Yeah. I mean just WTF 20, and then like the pound sign for numbers. Cause we're going to be saying WTF for a while. I do like the last one, salty bitch, like SLTYBCH. Cause they tried to say, no, it's a salty beach. I love the ocean. And the person at the DMV was like, fuck you.
Yeah. Nice try.
Right.
Nice try. Also, you live in Wisconsin. There's no salty beaches here.
Right. Yep. Nice. So thank you, Johnny, for sending that to us. And I saw a plate today that I I was genuinely shocked I saw. I had to take a picture of this car. I was in line to get gas at Costco. Okay. I had to take a picture. The only way I could see it is because there was a car between the two of us. It was in front of me, but there was a Honda Accord in between us. This car was a little bit higher and allowed me to see the plate through the Honda Accord's back window and front windshield. And so I got a picture, Ian, of this Toyota 4Runner's license plate. And here it is. Here it is, Ian. Ian's trying to decipher.
Oh, no.
Yep, it is JOSDTIP. They got a fucking plate that says just a tip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Right? And your reaction is going to be the exact same reaction my wife has when I tell her about seeing this plate, because you two both have like visceral reactions to plates like this. Go ahead and take a guess what the dude looked like that has this plate.
How flat was the hat?
It actually, it wasn't. It was like a bearded, overweight, like maybe late 30s, early 40s white dude.
Yeah.
The guy
Gross.
that like says anytime someone says my wife, he goes, my wife.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. To be fair, I say it in my head.
we all do. We all do.
Right. Yes. But the thing that gets me about these guys, and they're always guys,
right,
is they're also the same guys who would always be like, I don't care if you're gay, but you don't need to rub it in my face.
Right.
Just a tip, right? Fuck off. Terrible.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, all right. I have one more vanity plate. Okay. All right. My wife and I were driving around and we saw this. Now this one's going to get a groan from you as well, because it got a groan from her. Okay. It is a white Ram truck with a license plate.
Bring just the tip back. I would rather have just the tip.
It is a license plate that says Cool Fam, KULFAM. Now, this person was driving like a weirdo in traffic. Okay? Not like dickish, but like weird, right? You know, like just when someone's being weird. Well, it turns out someone else in their family was in front of them because we saw this. Cool Fam 5. And they were trying to get behind them because they were following them. These are... have you looked up KUL Fam to see if is this like a business? I don't... These cars were seriously within 15 feet of one another on the road.
I mean, that can't be coincidence.
No, it's not. It's not. Like they were like, oh, let's go to the restaurant. We have 7 people or 8 people. We need to take 2 cars. Right?
Huh.
Yeah. And they just so happen to be the kind of people that think their family's cool.
Man, that's weird. That's so weird.
And it brings me to an FMK Cars.
Oh, no. FMK Cars is that game we play on the show when one of us is having a crisis about what fam means.
So, Ian,
yes.
This one is called, let me get my note here. Ian, let me get my note. Okay, this one's called The Fam Damly, Family Ride Duos with Cringeworthy Twists.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to have 2 cars, right? And a twist. So the first one is your current lineup. You've got your Volkswagen R32, your VW Golf All-Track. Okay. Yes. You have a vanity plate on your R32 that says Cool Dad, KEWLDAD. And the All-Track has a vanity plate that says Cool Fam. Okay.
I would rather try to live under my R32. But continue.
All right. Maybe I'm lashing out because I had a rough time in the garage the other day. Looking back on this, I think I'm being more mean than I should have been.
That's okay.
The next pairing, I'm going to give you, like our buddy Matt Murphy has built, a K-swap Mazda Miata for your...
Okay.
Because each one of these is a trackish car and a family car, right?
Okay.
So a K-swap Miata and a Mazda CX-5, right? Sensible crossover, okay? Your car has a stick figure family on it, but it's not just any stick figure family. It is a Stig stick figure family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This right here. Okay. And the family car, the CX-5, has the standard stick figure family. Okay. All right. Lastly,
you gotta
Ian,
stop my eye from twitching. It's okay. Continue.
Lastly, Ian, I'm going to give you a Veloster N.
Okay.
Because I'm giving you all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, and rear wheel. Okay. All right. So you got a Veloster N and since we're staying in brands, right? Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid. Okay. The new hybrid, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but whatever. You have one. Yep. Okay. Whenever you drive the Veloster N, you have to dress in jean shorts and white New Balances. Just like you're a dude going to a Rush concert.
Yep.
Okay. When you drive the Santa Fe, you and your wife have to wear shirts. One says "Awesome Dad" and the other one says "Awesome Mom." Yeah. And the thing is, those kinds of like clothing pieces are just a fucking mouse click away, right? Awesome Dad shirt. Okay. Yep. Here you go. You got to do the one with the two thumbs. This is what an awesome dad looks like.
I'm killing that. I'm killing that because that follows me when I leave the car.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't.
You can't be anonymous in a parking lot up until you get into the car. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, at least when I'm in the car, I can have tinted windows. I can not look at people in the eye.
Right.
Yeah, that's got to go.
Okay. So the Hyundais are gone.
Yeah. And also then you're roping Jenny into it.
Right. Which I figured would be the thing that pushed it over the line.
Yeah, she would either kill or divorce me or both. So that can't stand. So we gotta get rid of those.
Okay, all right.
They all have so many fonts. Why do they have more than one font?
Yep.
So then that leaves me with the stick figure family or the plates.
Right. Cool dad and cool fam.
I think I have to marry the stick figure family.
Okay.
And the what was it? What was the car?
The K-swap Miata and the CX-5.
I think I have to marry those.
Okay.
Even though the CX-5 is not my favorite, and also it's really funny to have a family photo, families on the Miata, which is a 2-seater.
Right.
But that would be kind of a benefit is that they couldn't take the kids with me. So then, so that's an added benefit of that. So I'm going to marry that one. And then I will for a day have the shame of a cool dad license plate, which is wow.
Yep.
Just goes against everything.
Yeah. This is like matter and antimatter. Like, I feel like if I like, covertly put that license plate on your car as a joke in the middle of the night, the car would just vaporize and like
it would.
I would drop out like being John Malkovich. I'd drop out of the sky on the New Jersey Turnpike and be like, what the fuck just happened?
Yep, that's exactly what would happen.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The worst.
Okay. Yeah. There you go, buddy.
Well, thanks. What would you do?
Like I think I think you're onto something with the Miata and the CX-5, but I mean, like,
let's assume you fit in the Miata.
I don't know. I may have to do the Veloster and the Santa Fe Hybrid, you know? Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my wife would also murder and divorce me in whatever order was the most painful.
Right.
Maybe a little bit of both over a long period of time.
See, there you go.
If I subjected her to having to wear that kind of clothing. Like, look, it's a deal we made with Ian. Put on the shirt. Yeah. It's either this or a Golf All Track and bad license plate.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I don't make the rules. She's like, no, you actually do. You and Ian make the rules.
Case,
Yeah. I think I may have to. I may have to do jean shorts and white New Balances in the end, man. You know, and the awesome dad and mom shirt. You know. Yeah. I
feel like you, more than me, a little bit, just a little bit, have a white New Balance dad in you someplace.
I'm wearing a tab front shirt right now.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a golf shirt.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. This is not news to me.
Good point. It's not New Balance to you?
No.
Terrible. Anyway, I think that was mostly a car show.
It's not New Balance to me. What?
See? New Balance, not news. Never mind. I was making a news pun. It didn't really work though. That's fine. They can't all be winners. It's okay.
Well, I'm very thankful to talk to you this evening, buddy.
You as well. I will be billing your insurance shortly.
Yeah. Where do I shove the fuse? Can I pay in fuses?
Yes. That's how this works. If people enjoyed this, they should do some things, click some things, click the jobbies, tell some people. Yeah. Remember, if we get 1,000 YouTube subscribers, I'm going to get a Werther's themed vanity plate for my old man sedan. Yeah. We did have our first dramatic unsubscribe. We did, and an instant and a subscription right at the close to the same time. Yeah. So thank you, Donnie. I'm sorry that I upset you on Twitter. Obviously, that was me. I was just teasing him. Our existence upsets Donnie. It's fine. Rightfully so. Yeah. Rightfully so. Yeah. Well, Florida's existence upsets us. So it all evens out. Yeah. We love you, everybody. We love you, Donnie. Absolutely. We love you, Donnie. We will see you next week. Goodbye.